crafty friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com, and today I'm here with another woodland, lawn fawn woodland critter huggers animal modification, new animal to create with it. I've done a whole bunch of these so far. I've really had a lot of fun with it. I've got some requests from people asking for different critters, and so trying to fulfill those requests. The one that I'm making today is a dragon, and this was a request from my sister, but also something that I wanted to do because I know a little boy who would really appreciate a dragon. And so I made this version of the dragon, and I put wings on it. I don't love the wings. I definitely think you could totally leave them off and it would still look like a dragon. So you let me know what you think, but I will show you the whole thing. And you can decide which method works a bit better for you. To get started, I cut the whole thing out of a piece of green cardstock. Most of the cardstock I'm using is 110-pound Recollections from Michaels. I've just been able to pick up the big packs of it with a coupon, and it's made it pretty economical in terms of being able to get a lot of different cardstock. But I, of course, encourage you to use what you have on hand. So with the original, I made it all orange, and I kind of like that, but it also makes the flame a little less obvious. So I thought I would try a yellow dragon for my second one. And again, of course, you just use whatever colors work best for you. I glued down the standard belly for a dragon, and sorry, for all the critters, and I also glued down 2 little green feet. I decided to just kind of keep all that bit of it standard. Then to make the mouth, this probably reminds you quite a bit of some of the other mouths I've made, like for the cow. I think this is actually exactly the way that I made the mouth for the cow. I took the eye piece that goes most prominently with the raccoon in the original, so there's like a whole bunch of animals you can make with the original set. This makes the eye band for a raccoon. And I combine it with the eye band that works for most of the other creatures like the fox and the owl and all that. So they're kind of layered together. This, when I die cut it, I didn't die cut the whole thing because I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm just going to throw that out anyway, so I saved a little bit of my, fancy expensive cardstock because I don't actually have a lot of this light green color. And I'm going to overlap them. And this time I actually can leave a little bit of extra room because there's going to be a flame coming out of his mouth. And the flame, this is what made me knew I'd be able to actually make a dragon, is when I figured out the flame. The flame is the antlers. So these antlers go on the deer. You can cut off a single antler and turn it into a flame. You could, of course, just die cut 1/2 of it if you were trying to save some paper there, if you didn't have a lot. Because I found like some colors I only have like a single cardstock sheet of, unless it came in the Michaels packs. Then I have, a whole bunch of it. But so I just trimmed off a single antler, and I'll be able to tuck that into the mouth and glue all of that together. I'm going to use my ATG for almost all of this just because it's a super strong adhesive. I don't personally like messing with liquid glue. 100% personal preference thing. Not trying to knock liquid glue. I do use multimedia matte for certain things. I'm getting a smoother finish on a lot of these with my ATG. So now I overlapped it, leaving that little hole open. I'm going to just tuck my flame into it. You can think about how you want to angle your flame. I have it kind of pointing straight down in the original, but I kind of think maybe off to the side would be a bit cuter. So I'll angle it off to the side there. Add some adhesive behind it since my mouth is all assembled. A lot of it from now, for like the rest of it, you can probably pretty much figure out on your own because I've done a lot of the other stuff on other critters. I've made, the little nostrils, the ears are just from the kit directly. They come right in the die set. Plug those in. When I do little tiny pieces like this, I like to put the adhesive already on the back. It's Elizabeth Crafts tape. I've tried to throw in a couple of tips here and there for making these a bit easier if you're trying to make a bunch of them. So putting the adhesive already on the back of little details is one way. Do the same thing with the eyes, with the nostrils. The other tips I wanted to share were using a magnetic bowl to hold all these little tiny die pieces while you're working. And I have found that as I'm die cutting out the critters, if I use my old messy Sizzix plate, it leaves a texture on the opposite side, because when you press the die cut down, you run it through, you smush this texture into it. And so you might want if that drives you crazy, you might just want to get a new plate and use it on these, and if you're making a couple of them, and just kind of reserve it to the side just for this. I would recommend using temporary adhesive here to put the arms closed. In fact, you don't even need to close the arms till you have what you want in them. I'm just closing them for demo purposes so you can see what the dragon looks like. And his flame is actually going to kind of come out over his arms, which will give it a little bit more of a 3D effect too, which I thought was pretty cute. I'm going to glue down some eyes for him. I find if you make the eyes too wide, it's not as cute. I kind of like the eyes being really close together. But what I do find is if you do like them farther apart, you can kind of just use this die as a guide. I think it's really, really smart that Lawn Fawn made the dies, those little tiny circle dies, attached to each other. I can't imagine trying to not lose a little eye die if it was, just that shape there. Or these eyelashes. So these here that are the nostrils are the eyes that have eyelashes on them. And I use those for two reasons. One, they're a teeny tiny bit smaller than the mouth, because the mouth is also perfect for nostrils. And because you can cut two of them at one time. So it saves you a pass of the machine. Whereas if you use the mouth, you have to send it through the machine twice. So I think snipping them is actually faster than running it through your machine twice, but maybe not. And I'm sorry that I repeat some of the information. If you're watching the whole series, you'll hear me say some of the same stuff over and over again, but I kind of have to assume that some people are only going to watch one single critter that they want to make, and so I'm just, repeating myself for them. Okay. So this already kind of looks like a dragon. The fire is probably the main thing that gives it away in the green color. But if you look at a lot of dragon cartoons, they have horns. And so I was like, I definitely need to put horns. I think that will add to the dragon effect. And then a lot of them have wings. So I was trying to decide if I really wanted to add the wings. I felt like most dragons that I saw, their horns were sort of pointing inwards. So the curve is kind of coming inwards. This horn, I've used this particular die a lot. It's come in very, very handy. It's called a tail detail in the original. So it's just this little tiny die here. It's been stripes on a tiger and horns for me. And I think I may have used it for something else too. I'm not sure. Okay. And then another one. This time I'm using the back side of the die in order to make it work. Put a little adhesive already behind my dragon. Position them so they're about even. And you could just be done here. Of course, you could again just use the orange combination if you like that better, or you could try to make wings. I am personally not a huge fan of the wings, so I'm not going to make a second one with wings, but I'm going to tell you how to make these wings. You're going to want to take the tail die. This is the big fluffy tail die. There's actually a smaller tail die as well, but this is the one I've been using the most. And it's going to become your wings. You're going to die cut the large layer out of the green. Then you're going to trace the inside for the inside of the die for the inside of the wing. Trace it and cut it out of a different piece of paper, layer them together, and attach it behind. So again, die cut this out of the green, take another different color paper, trace the inside, not the outside of the die, but the inside of the die, trim that, cut along the line that you trace, layer it on top of each other, and you will create the best version of wings that I could come up with the die set. And even as you can see, it requires tracing, and it's not the original die set. If you have a different idea for wings, feel free to share. I'm, again, as always with these videos, just trying to share how you can create these critters with only the die set. I'm not adding any additional dies from my stash or anything like that, because I want you to feel like you can really get good value out of this particular die set. So that is it for my dragon today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in more crafting tutorials, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I will leave you links to some of the products that I used in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye.